Gen Z realized something a while ago that many people are too afraid to admit. Thing is, work doesn't matter unless it gives something to you back. And no, I'm not talking about money here. Because yes, while money is a goal for work, we grew up watching people give everything into their jobs and jobs they hated, just to end up exhausted, bitter, and replaceable. So of course Gen Z questioned it. Why would I sacrifice my time, my energy, and my identity for something that doesn't even respect me back? And when you start to ask that question to yourself, something inside of yourself shifts. Gen Z did not reject work, they reject meaningless work, because we need meaning in order to feel fulfilled in our jobs, to feel like things are valued. We want effort, and we don't want less effort, we want effort that feels like they are taking us somewhere. The real shift is optimizing for flow and happiness, not just productivity, because when you are in flow, time disappears, effort just feels a lot more natural, and then progress compounds and builds up over time. That is the kind of work people are chasing now. Not work-life balance, but work that feels like life. But there is a part that nobody wants to hear. You don't just find meaningful work, you build it. And in the beginning, it is messy, it is inconsistent, and honestly, it's kind of painful trying to build something that actually aligns with you. Trying to build something that actually aligns with you forces you to face everything you have been avoiding. Your habits, your discipline, your identity. That's why most people go back into patterns that are not good. Because the moment you try to go back to something, you're trying to go back into a sense of identity and to have something that defines who you are. Because if you don't know who you are, you will always end up working for something that isn't you, or that isn't yours or aligned with you. And that's where things start to get deeper. Gen Z did not break work. As much as people like to point the blame on Gen Z, we just realized things and the ways the old system have been up, and things that need to be let go of in the future if we actually want to have a thriving society. It's come to a point where it's harder now to make any kind of money if you're not working for yourself, and that's why a lot of Gen Z start content creation, because they view it as a nice way to make money while being able to share some of the things they love or some parts of themselves. Some people will not take it that deep, but the people who do kind of always end up making a profit in the end. It's taking time, but the question is, where are you building and what are you building? What are you trying to build instead of having this regular type of job? Having been told in our childhood that things could be a certain way and that we could build the life we wanted if we really wanted to by working hard. Working hard is a big part of it, but nowadays the society just tries to make you into a worker, while there are some things like manual jobs which are not yet able to be replicated by machines entirely. A lot of things have to be said. We are living at a time where a lot of my generation is feeling stuck into studies they don't really like because it's what they've been told to do. It came to a point where depression and burnout has become so synonymous with the early adult life experience of going to school. But it doesn't need to be that way, and a lot of people are realizing it. The ones that feel stuck are the most impacted by this, because they don't see an end to their problems. But even now, like, places are closing, a lot of like opportunities to have jobs are closing. Gen Z in a way has been trying to focus more and more on health and feeling good, because we realize that living an existence where we feel miserable is only going to make us try to find some escapism, and we don't want to use the harmful substances others used. While yes, a lot of people are turning now to weed, alcoholism has been on the down low for a while, and it kind of becomes a paradox of like, did this go down because the people start doing it, or did the people stop doing it because the thing started to go down? Like, it's kind of the egg and the chicken situation. We question a lot of things that have been in the narrative for a long time, and we do realize when there is a problem and when there needs to be balance restored and things to be said about said problems. And it's depressing that students are now feeling like it won't even admit to anything because everyone is struggling to get work at the moment. The school system has been down on the quality for a number of years. It is outdated in every possible way, and I for sure know what I'm talking about. The world is running by elites that are stuck in somewhat of a high school mentality to a degree, you know what I mean? Even the internet has started to put people in a situation where identity is more or less blank, stable, the same. Algorithmic identity is a big problem, and this ties in nicely into the concept of my 3 videos. I've made a 3-arc series. If work doesn't matter unless it reflects you, then who are you really building for in the end? And it also has to do with time management. We value our time because with a future that feels so uncertain and feeling like the world could end if some people press the wrong buttons, it just feels like we're running out of time. I've known a lot of people in my teen and tween years, some of that passed away because as a symptom of how society impacts the youth and the feeling of not having enough time. You know, even I for a long time didn't know what I wanted to be in this life and didn't know what this life had in store for me, and so I felt like I never had enough time, and I tried to burn myself out trying to find something that had meaning to me. And everyone has their own path to understanding themselves and knowing what they want to do in life and go into their life's purpose. But until we feel like we don't have enough time, we don't feel like we have enough space to grow, and thinking like we have the time is counterproductive in a way, because we feel like if we think that we have time, we might procrastinate on things when the time to do things should be now, in the moment they appear. Sometimes there might be complications, but just being able to note it down and just keep a record and a reality check on what your situation is and what you can do to improve your situation is also going to help you in major ways. Building meaningful work takes time, it takes planning, it takes steps, it takes a lot of thinking, and when people are domesticated and have algorithmic brain, meaning that their dopamine levels are through the floor, there is a lot of detox that need to be done, and detoxing and just being able to work on your attention and your attention span is really going to help you working better. And Gen Z understood that, because the moment a whole generation starts advocating for mental health, it becomes not taboo anymore, and being able to have very important aspects of humanity being exposed to such a degree that it brings a whole lot more understanding. At a certain time, it becomes tolerance, and too much tolerance kills tolerance, you know, so you have to be intolerant against intolerance if you want things to work properly. But even then, that becomes a paradox in itself. How much is too much, and how much is a collective willing to do towards an end goal if they have been brainwashed or domesticated to not react and to be numb? These are the kinds of pain that you have to go through in order to find something that has meaning to you. The moment that Gen Z realized that if things don't feel like something our future self would thank us for, what is even the point of doing it? But our generation feels doomed because we don't see an end to the problems set by the earlier generations. And my feeling is not like just generational. There has been this feeling developing in people who lost their job at a later age. And even my mom, like she lost her job and now she has one again, but it's still complicated, but she manages. If we want to continue forward in humanity, we have to learn to be happy at work, and we have to learn to make opportunities for ourselves, because there will never be anyone that knows what you want to work on more than you. And if you don't know it, it's fine. Take time to learn about it. Don't forget to make it a reality. The moment you start making it reality is the moment things start to align for you. And it might take a while, but if you commit to it, it's important. Gen Z has a bit of a problem with commitment, but seeing how attention and feelings have been monetized, you just have to look at internet, like everything is screaming for your attention nowadays. The attention we were given has been too dispersed for our own brain to be able to handle, and a lot of people forget to recenter back into themselves and give back into themselves, and just in healthy ways. It doesn't have to be perfect, because perfection doesn't really exist. Everything comes at a certain time, and situations are always trying to teach you something. Sometimes there is no goal, there is no meaning, but maybe that's the meaning. It's stop caring so much, just live for you. It's important to live and be able to live in a society and in a group, but you have to do it in healthy ways. And if we collectively take the time and the effort to actually feel alright and feel happy and fulfilled in what we do, because it has great meanings to us, then so be it. That's where you start getting closer to the end goal and start getting deeper into your own success. So no, Gen Z did not break work. They exposed the patterns that needed to be get rid of, because we're not slaves. We're not gonna get here and work for pennies for things that we can't even afford. Like nowadays, you pay more than you receive by design. If you're young and if you're just starting out, the world was not built for someone new coming in. It was not built for people like us, the people who are only now going to start into it. The people who already have jobs, they're fine, but even then they might be replaced, we never know. But yeah, with just everything that is happening around the world, it really feels like we are running out of time, and just being able to slow ourselves down to have this feeling of timelessness, just getting into the flow of creation. We just want to create, and being able to be in this flow and maximize happiness. You can feel things, you can enjoy things, but generally not attaching to them is gonna get you further in the long run, because for XY reason you might not be able to do something for a while, and then affects your mood. So yeah, it's not being nonchalant, it's just knowing where to put your focus and attention at any given moment. And it takes time to develop. If you have visions that are bigger than yourself, which should be a way of living, but I'm not your dad, I'm not anyone to tell. If you're only centered on yourself, don't think the world is gonna give back to you if you only pour into yourself. Just it goes both ways. Abundance goes both ways. If you give to someone abundant and you stick around them, then their energy of abundance goes on you, and that's how you make powerful connections. But that's a whole other topic. If you want to start building an identity that is strong enough in this world to be able to allow you to feel able to just make anything you ever want, click here or here. Until next time, take care, be good, and never stop working and trying to achieve your dreams. See ya.